Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a bridal makeup, wedding makeup tutorial on how I got this look here. This works for brides, bridesmaids, mother of the bride, anyone, but kind of long wearing makeup that's going to last, looks a little bit more natural and glowy, but matte all at the same time. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe down below and click the little bell to be notified of all future uploads. And if you want to see how I got this look and how to do your makeup on your wedding day, just keep on watching. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with my Becca. This is the First Light Priming Filter. You can use the backlight one too. I just really like this primer. I think it looks good underneath all foundations. I don't like to use something matte because not everyone has the same skin type, and that can either make your foundation look kind of cakey because we're going to go in with a more matte foundation. So I like something kind of hydrating and luminous but underneath the matte foundation. Okay, so first after that I'm gonna take, this is the Becca under eye brightening, and I'm just gonna use a concealer brush and just a little bit and just kind of tap that underneath the eyes to get rid of any darkness that we might have under there. All right, and now I'm gonna take the MAC Matchmaker foundation. This has SPF 15 in it, which is good if your wedding is outside. I'm just gonna pump some of this onto my sponge and apply it to my entire face. I like to start with the center first because it seems like your foundation kind of wears off there first. So you wanna get the most product there. Okay, now that we have a nice blank canvas for our face, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape. Obviously, this is my favorite concealer. I think it's just about everyone's. But yeah, it just is super long wearing, super full coverage. I just love it. And we're going to be using our sponge for like most powders and stuff too, just to make sure we press everything into the skin. I feel like it makes it last a lot longer throughout the day. So definitely using a lot of our sponge today. All right, now to set that down, I'm gonna be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I need to get another one of these. I'm almost out, and this is just a like travel size, but we're just gonna dip our sponge right into the product and press it under the eyes. You don't want to use a translucent powder that has flashback, and this one does not. My RCMA powder definitely does. That's why I use that one more for like everyday makeup. But you're gonna be taking a lot of photos on your wedding day, so do not use that one. And maybe test them out depending on which ones you have to make sure they do not have flashback if you're gonna use one that's not this one, but this one does not have flashback. And to lightly set my whole face, I'm gonna use the Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder. This is a pressed powder. Just kind of do a light dusting on the whole face because we want our makeup to last. Okay, and for contour bronzing, I'm gonna be using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. This is really good for a lot of skin tones because it really has a good range in there. I typically use these, if I can hold it up right, this one for the contour, and then I mix these two for my bronzing, and then carve out under the cheekbones, mixing these two. But that's just me, you don't have to be that complex. But I'm gonna start with that first brown shade, and we are going to contour. And then I just like to use kind of like a fluffy angled brush for that. Okay, now I'm going to take like a smaller, almost an eyeshadow angled brush, if I can find one. Okay, like this to contour my nose, using that same shade though. And I just start right underneath the brow there and kind of pull it in, and then take it right down the side of my nose. and then all the way to the tip to kind of get that point on the end too. I don't know if you can see the difference in the two sides. And then I just kind of lightly dust it down just to kind of blend it out a little bit so it doesn't look like a harsh line. And then just repeat it on the other side. Okay, so now using a big fluffy brush, I'm gonna be mixing those second two shades to bronze up the rest of the face. Okay, so now with our sponge again, I like to use this one. This is a Morphe sponge because it is pointed on this side. So I'm just gonna dip this into those two light shades and carve out underneath my contour and tap down the center of my nose. Okay, now I'm gonna take just this small tapered setting brush and just kind of dust that in on my nose just to kind of blend it together a little bit. There we go. Now our nose is a little bit more snatched. And then because I'm using translucent powder, because I'm not using translucent powder, I'm using an actual contouring powder, I'm just gonna dust this right off. There we go. All right, for blush, we're gonna be a little bit complicated, but I think it's very necessary. So I'm gonna be using the Kylie blushes. I'm gonna mix Barely Legal, which is this pretty baby pink shade, with X-Rated, which is this more nude kind of peachy shade. You want a more natural blush, but I think you still wanna be a blushing bride, so that's where the pinky shade comes in. And then I do also like to add a little bit of glow to my blush for brides. So I'm gonna be throwing in the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach, just a little bit. So I'm starting off with the X-Rated and just applying that all over my cheeks. This is like a really natural, subtle blush. I don't know if you guys can even really see it, but this is gonna go all over my cheeks there. And then now the Barely Legal, just right here on the balls of my cheeks for that more pinky blushing part, like that. Now you can start to see it. And then just a touch of this Papa Don't Peach right on the tops of the cheekbones. We want our makeup to last, but we still want to glow. Perfect. All right, we're still looking a little bit matte, so we're gonna add some glow. For highlight, I'm gonna use the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette. I know you can't get this anymore, but both of these highlights you can buy individually. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit more of a pink eye today. Sometimes brides like a little bit more of a gold eye. So if you're gonna be doing a gold eye, I would suggest doing the more gold highlight. And if you're gonna be doing a pinky one, a little bit more of the peachy one. So this one, oh goodness. The gold one is Champagne Pop and the pinky one is Prosecco Pop. So I'm gonna be going in with this one here. Whew. Such a beautiful, natural, wet looking highlight. Looks so good. So just apply that to the tops of the cheekbones, and then I'm gonna grab a smaller, there it is, a smaller little brush like this and apply it to my nose and my Cupid's bow. For brows, I like to use a pomade, just makes it a lot more precise. So this is the ColourPop one, which is super affordable. The Anastasia one is another great option, but I like this one. So I'm just gonna take the pomade and this thin angled liner brush and carve out my brows. I like to start with the tip there, because once we kind of got our point, we can sort of apply everything towards that direction. And then in the front half of my brows, right here, I'm gonna stroke upwards, and then this part will go back this way. Just like that. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but like that. And then we'll go through after I do the other eye with our spoolie to kind of blend it out. All right, now we got them both filled. I'm just gonna go in with a spoolie and brush them out in the same direction that we applied the product. So in the middle, brush up, and here, brush to the side. That kind of gives them a more like natural wispy look in the middle, but still shaped and formed on the outside. So now I'm going to take a clear brow gel to set them. I'm still using the NYX Control Freak. This is almost gone. I need to get a new one. If you guys have a recommendation for a clear brow gel, let me know, because I kind of want to test out some new ones. I've been using this NYX one forever now, and I feel like I should try something different. All right, let's get started with the eyes. I almost forgot, I'm actually gonna set my face first with my Morphe setting spray and then go in with the eyes, just so this kind of melts together and stays there while we do our eyes. So I'm gonna start with this MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre and using a concealer brush again, and that is gonna be my eyeshadow base. So just going in with my concealer brush and apply that to my lid. Okay, now that our eyelids are prepped, I kind of used it to carve out underneath my brows there for a more precise line. So I'm going to be using this palette. This is a curated palette by me using ColourPop, Makeup Geek, and Anastasia's shadows. This I made specifically to do weddings. It's just easier to make your own palette, but you can find all of these shades on those 3 brands. But there's definitely like other good palettes that you can use, like the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette is really great for weddings, just that palette alone. But something with kind of these shades. You don't have to have all these ones. I'm gonna do a more pink look, so I'll be using stuff more up in this way. And a lot of people, oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay. I put it back in, it didn't break. I can't believe it just fell out. Anyway, a lot of people like to do like more goldeny tones, so I have those in here as well, but I'm gonna be using the more pinky tones on this side. So first we need to set that base that we just laid down. So I'm actually just gonna go in with this like nude shade right here and lay it all over the lid. Okay, now that we set that down, I'm gonna go in with this really light pink shade and just pop it all in the crease area and kind of above it. Okay, now I'm gonna grab a smaller blending brush and I'm gonna go in with this kind of taupey shade just to deepen up the crease a little more. And so this is gonna go just right in the crease here, not above it. Okay, now I'm gonna grab like a fluffier but flat brush and I'm gonna go in with this brown shade right here just to deepen up the outer corner a little bit, and then I'm actually gonna mix it with this pink one down here. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this deep chocolate shade down here and just kind of a smaller fluffy brush, and that's just gonna go right, tap off the excess. You don't want it too harsh. Just tapped on right on the outer corner. Just like that. Okay, now that we got that, we're gonna do the pop glittery shiny part on the inside of the lid. So we kind of want a flat, a little bit more dense brush. So we're gonna go in with this Lexi brush like this. See how it's kind of flat? And I'm gonna use this kind of pinky shade right here and put that all over the inner half of my lid. And we're gonna press it on. Okay, now I'm gonna grab a different, little bit thicker, fluffy shader brush, and I'm gonna go in with this pink one right here, and it's gonna go underneath the brow bone. And then I'm gonna take a smaller pencil brush like this, and I'm gonna pop that same shade right on the inner corner. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this flat brush here, nice, short, and dense, and kind of repeat the same steps on my lower lash line. So I'm actually gonna start with this pink one here and go all the way under my lash line first, and then go in with that taupe shade there and kind of dust that a little bit closer underneath my lash line. And then I'm gonna skip the next two and go straight to the deeper one here, just for right on the outer half. Okay, eyes are done. Well, eyeshadow is done. And then next I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Trooper or tattoo liner. Trooper is the name of the black one, sorry. The tattoo liner in Mad Max Brown. I'm gonna use a brown one, just looks a little bit more natural, even though it's liner. But we're gonna do just a tiny, tiny wing. We don't wanna be too dramatic. Just like that. So maybe a little longer than I would do on someone else, but it's me, so it's okay. Okay, both wings are done. Now for the waterline, I'm gonna be using the ColourPop liner in Mr. Bing. This is just a little bit of a warmer brown. It's pretty subtle. You can still see it though, but the warmth just adds a little bit of depth to the lower lash line. But we don't wanna do something dark and make our eyes look smaller because we want big eyes. Okay, so for mascara, you're definitely gonna wanna use a waterproof mascara, obviously. So the Better Than Sex waterproof is definitely a great one. This would be the one that I would use, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use a regular mascara today because it's not my actual wedding day. I'm not going to a wedding. I'm not gonna be crying, so I'm just gonna put on regular mascara real quick. But definitely I would be using this one if it was a wedding. Okay, for lashes, I'm gonna be using these Pompadour, I think that's how you say it, lashes by Kiss. These ones are a little bit thicker than usual. If you want a natural lash, I would get the Kiss number 11s or the Ardell Wispies or Demi Wispies, depending on which style you like. But I just picked up these ones, so I want to test them out. But for more natural, lengthy lash, the Kiss number 11s are my favorite. You guys have heard me talk about those so many times before, but I'm gonna test these ones out today. And then I always trim them. So if you have really big eyes, you don't need to trim them, but I don't like to have the inner part of the lash any further than my lashes here. So mine stop about there. So I want to trim them to where the inner corner of the lash is starting there and ending on the outer corner. So I typically take off like 1 to 2 little clusters on the outer edge of the lash. Okay, and then I also like the Kiss lash glue. I like this because when it's ready to put the lash on, the white glue turns like a blue tint, and it means that it's ready to stick. So that's convenient because you don't want to stick it too early or too late because it'll either slide off or be stuck if you didn't put it in the exact spot on the first try. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit blue. That means that they're ready to stick. So I start with just my fingers like this. And sorry, it's gonna be kind of difficult because I gotta look in the mirror, not in the camera to do it, but I just line it up and place it there. And then obviously that's not right, but I'm gonna take my tweezers and reposition where I want it. Just like that. Okay, obviously you can see the difference, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am all done. Applied those lashes. I actually really like these ones. Typically I put like another little coat of mascara on after I put the lashes on, but these ones were like perfect. I didn't have to because they're like nice and dark. I really like them. But yeah, and then I went ahead and set my face with my Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. Best stuff ever, long lasting, will hold your makeup on forever. But just the last little touch, if you want to, totally up to you. I'm gonna go back in with that highlighter that we used and put it on the collarbones and the tips of my shoulders. Depending on what dress you have, obviously will depend on if you're gonna do this or want to do this or not, but I'm wearing a tank top right now. Also, this tank top, I'll show you guys real quick. Just a simple basic tee I got from Walmart. It was on sale for $1. So if you guys wanna pick some of them up, Walmart has got the goods. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but just pops it a little bit and right on the shoulders. Okay, last thing, finishing touch for lips. I'm gonna use the liner in Candy K, and then I'm gonna top it with the Bare Minerals XYZ. This is matte, but it's like a comfort matte, so it's gonna wear really nice throughout the day. So you don't have to use this shade. You guys know XYZ is my favorite, but just these Bare Mineral ones, they just wear really nice because they're more of a mousse texture than just completely drying down and like hardening on your lips. Okay, that is it. If you guys do like a more glossy lip, I typically don't recommend it just because you are going to be like kissing a lot on your wedding day and stuff. Obviously, if you're trying to do this look as like a bridesmaid or something like that, then go for it. But you just don't want to be getting like gloss all over your new husband's face. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So if you are going to do a gloss, maybe just really lightly and kind of pat it off, or just tap it on your finger and just lightly tap it on if you like that sheen. But like I said, this one, I don't know if you guys can see, it looks a little bit of, like it has a little bit of a sheen because it is a mousse texture. It doesn't dry down matte. So definitely recommend these Bare Minerals ones. Okay, so this is the finished look. I love these kind of looks, honestly, for like every day, but it's so great for your wedding day. It's gonna last a long time using all the products that I used. And there was also a few different ones that I had pointed out to you guys that were other options to use too, if you guys wanted to use something a little bit different. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like these kind of videos, or you would like me to show you some more alternatives or maybe a different style, or if you guys want me to do like the more goldeny brown version of this eye look for a wedding. Just let me know down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.